Alexander Volkanovski has been the featherweight champion of the UFC since 2019 and has cemented himself as one of the best MMA fighters in history. Volkanovski's career is well known in the MMA community, but if you don't know, here is a quick rundown of his career to this point. Volkanovski was a semi-professional rugby player for the Warilla Gorillas after growing up in Wollongong, New South Wales. He would do MMA in the off-season to keep fit, but at 22, he decided to take a leap into professional mixed martial arts. He began winning, and with a record of 13-1 with 10 straight wins, he was able to enter the UFC aged 28. The once 97kg Volkanovski had slimmed down to around 69 or 70 kilograms to become a featherweight. The rest is UFC history. He kept on winning, defeating champion Max Holloway to claim the belt in 2019 at UFC 245. In total, he has defended the belt 5 times and even went up to lightweight to challenge Islam Makhachev and become a 2-weight division champion. But more on that later. Regardless of your thoughts on fighting, whether you like it, think it's brutal or barbaric, or don't care, it doesn't matter. Volkanovski has demonstrated the values and attitude we should strive to have. He has just done it through MMA. It's the key moments in his career that have defined his character and legacy, ultimately creating a true champion. Volkanovski has exemplified the lengths hard work, dedication, and a thirst for improvement can take you. He was an Australian wrestling champ at a young age, but only turned pro at 22, also taking another 6 years to get to the UFC. He was still a raw fighter in his early days, but if you look at his first fight against Max Holloway to his third fight, the improvement was stunning. Volkanovski was still great in their first meeting, winning the duel comfortably. The second meeting was much closer, and in the eyes of the majority in the UFC community, Volkanovski was lucky to get the win. Ultimately, the third fight would be the final installment to see who was better at UFC 276. Volk was dominant, precise, and assertive. Holloway is one of the greatest featherweights ever, but next to Volkanovski on that night, he looked second-rate and well off the pace. Every aspect of Volkanovski has improved dramatically within the last 7 years, and it's a testament to his work. He has continuously talked about his love for the sport, how he works harder each day and always wants to learn more.
What do you attribute, other than just simple hard work? How are you making these big leaps?
Mate, it's just drive. Drive to be better. Always be better, you know what I mean? You can be better everywhere. Have that drive, that motivation, and just keep looking for ways to improve. That's it. It's that easy. Like I say every time, I'm the most athletically gifted guy. Hard work, drive, got me to where I am, and look what I'm doing.
Fighting through adversity and never giving up has defined Volkanovski in the sport. His second title defense against Brian Ortega was the moment that really announced him. The fight was following a similar trend to previous ones. Volkanovski was dominant, but in the third round, he got rocked, dropped down, and Ortega pounced. Ortega is a submission specialist and one of the deadliest fighters in the world. He put Volkanovski in a guillotine choke, and the fight looked over. But the mental strength of Volkanovski shone through. He could have instantly tapped, but didn't. He held on with more than sheer will. His team made up of Craig Jones and Joe Lopez yelled to lift Ortega's hips, which Volk did under the highest level of pressure. He fought through, but was still able to maintain the concentration to give him a shot at survival. It may have saved his belt. He survived more submission attempts to claim another title defense. The respect that Volkanovski gained after the fight was enormous. Looking back at it, it was the one moment that truly vaulted Volkanovski into one of the best fighters in the world. People were shocked that he could survive such a submission attempt from an opponent who is so well known for that aspect of MMA. It definitely gave Volkanovski the ultimate confidence that he was now the number one man who could take on any challenge ahead of him. We skip forward 2 more successful title defenses to the ultimate challenge. Standing up for yourself and creating new challenges is another Volkanovski mantra. He was dominating the featherweight division, so he took the ultimate jump. He decided to move up to the 155-pound lightweight division to earn a shot at the title. It's a rare event in the UFC that a fighter is holding one belt and decides to fight for another. And when it happens, everyone pays attention. His opponent was Islam Makhachev, who was 23-1 and the lightweight champion. He simply mauled his way to the top, showing a relentless nature to take down opponents and finish them there. Fighters noted his strength was almost superhuman and his wrestling was overpowering. He also had a good striking eye, which Volkanovski admitted, and had the cardio to match it. He was far bigger than Volkanovski as well, and had spent his UFC career as a lightweight fighter. Some experts gave Volkanovski no chance, noting his size as the main issue, coming up against such a good ground fighter in Makhachev. The two had continuous dialogue full of trash talking and build-up, which created even more intensity and excitement for the night. At UFC 284 in Perth, they finally collided head-on. It was as high a level fight as I have ever watched. Volkanovski survived round 1 and ignited the crowd in a frenzy. Rounds 2 and 3 were very close. Both fighters traded blows, but no severe damage or big hits happened. Round 4 was probably the most boring of the fight, as Makhachev gained control of Volkanovski and held him down. He did win the round because of this, but the damage he did was minimal, and while watching it live, it seemed he was the fighter that was holding on and was out of gas. Round 5 was epic. Volkanovski had to give everything he had, and he did. He started to connect more and more throughout the fight, with Makhachev's face beginning to show bruising and swelling. With 1 minute and 9 seconds left, Volkanovski rocked him. He mounted on top and began unloading on the body of Makhachev, who was visibly exhausted. The crowd noise was off the charts, and it looked like Volkanovski was going to pull off a historic win. But Makhachev held on, surviving a final 10-second onslaught to bring the fight to the judges' scorecards. It was an all-time great fight. It would be close no matter what the decision was. Makhachev ended up winning the fight via unanimous decision, but it felt like Volkanovski won the night. The slow start probably came back to bite him, but with another 3 judges, or 30 seconds more, he may have won the fight. It was heartbreaking, but the respect Volkanovski showed to Makhachev was a worthy finish to the night. Both were humble, and with the boos raining down on Makhachev, Volkanovski relaxed the crowd and gave his props. It was a classy act that sums up Volkanovski at his best.
I appreciate the support, but let's give a round of applause for Islam. But hey, it was a fun fight, you know. Maybe I could have capitalised in some positions a bit more. Left it a little late, but hey, what do you do? Congrats to Islam.
He recently bounced back and put on a dominant display against Yair Rodriguez at UFC 290 for his 5th featherweight title defense. Once again, he showed he's levels above the other featherweight contenders. Rodriguez is dangerous and unorthodox, but the fight IQ of Volkanovski was elite. He may now push up to lightweight again, or keep defending his belt at 145. Volkanovski is now benefiting from the work he has put in. His brand is flourishing, with his YouTube channel amassing 270,000 subscribers and millions of views. He has many endorsement deals and recently signed with Prime. Again, whether you like the drink or its founders in Logan Paul and KSI, the monetary and commercial reward has now matched up with the athletic performance of Volkanovski. As we currently sit, Volkanovski doesn't just deserve to be a member of the Sport Australia Hall of Fame, but a legend. The current outline of the membership states, the Sport Australia Hall of Fame introduced the legend status to recognise those members who have distinguished themselves at the highest level, and in doing so have offered inspiration and example to all Australians. Volkanovski has absolutely achieved this. He's the great Australian underdog who we all love. He built up his career from the bottom and is now recognised as one of, if not the best pound for pound fighters in the world. When his career is finished, hopefully his name is alongside the greats like Kathy Freeman, Margaret Court, Shane Warne and Lee Matthews. Volkanovski is at the top of his game, and I'm sure his legacy will only continue to grow from this point in time.